Good evening, race fans. It's that time again. Monday night means more MC Motorsport madness, and we are here at Sebring for round 3 of the GT3 Championship, season 2 of this championship for 2024. This is Jared Cole. I'm here on behalf of Simple Racing Broadcasts, and as always, joined in the booth this evening by my good friend Dean. How are you, my friend? Biggles, how you been?
Fantastic. Looking forward to more racing. Of course, the start of the week, it's Monday night. And of course, that means MC Motorsports. And of course, that means GT3s.
Love a bit of GT3 racing to kick my week off. Always good fun. We've got a pretty decent sized field again tonight. We're sitting up around, 25 drivers entered for this evening. It is our first special event for the season. Let's have a little bit of a chat about tonight's event, Sebring International Raceway. Not exactly the kindest of raceways, you got to say, right, Pickles? It's built on essentially airfield concrete for most of it, and so it is rough at the best of times. 17 turns, almost 6Ks to get around a lap here, and you want bumpy surface. This place is open for about 300 days a year. They've got events on, so it doesn't get much of a break. They don't have much of a chance to resurface it. And so it's going to push the drivers to their limits in terms of car control and just taking it easy on that throttle coming out of some of these corners. But of course, round 3 brings us our first of the Enduros. So the drivers have just finished up open qualifying, and they've just got a bit of a warm-up to go before they jump into the race proper. Excuse me. 90-minute single race tonight. We don't have the reverse grid to play with, Biggles.
Yeah, endurance. Exactly. Here at the Sebring, of course, the International Speedway, which is truly a spectacle of speed, endurance, and speed and skill. It's known for its rugged surface that you talked about, and its challenging layout. It's a unique test for both drivers and machines. Remember, it was originally an airfield, so that the mix of the smooth asphalt and the bumpy concrete pushes the suspension and tires of these GT3 cars to their absolute limits, requiring balance and performance of durability. It's 17 turns, mate, and 3.7 miles. And of course, the high-speed straights, technical hairpins, but don't forget the famous Sunset Bend. Where
Sunset Bend.
Precision and
yeah, it's a famous one, isn't it? It's that's just that reducing radius corner onto the home straight. Actually. Gets you every time. And yeah, track conditions just starting to change up a little bit as we get closer and closer to the event starting. Mostly cloudy tonight, 79% humidity. There is a chance that we're going to see a little bit of rain, but let's see what comes around. The track at the moment is dry, 29 degree surface temp. That's going to be nice for the tyres, can't argue with that. And excuse me, it's going to test the drivers. I think 90 minutes is a long time. A lot can happen, particularly from a weather perspective. And I'm hearing whispers in the chat there. We've got DJ just calling out that weather radar. We're gonna have to keep an eye on that one tonight because
I've been looking at it. Don't you worry.
How's it looking on your end?
Yeah, it's clear at the moment, but you know the participation is starting to increase as in the next 30 minutes, and that'll be what we have to keep an eye out for. Hey, it's weather. It's unpredictable. You don't know exactly what it's going to do. And the iRacing, thankfully, have added the weather gods to the platform, and I think it's been a good success actually. But whether the drivers like it or not, that'll be interesting, especially at this track that once again with the mix of concrete and asphalt. You get a bit of wet weather on that, my friend. All your grip levels just go out through the roof.
Absolutely,
out the door. The other way around.
If we do get any rain tonight, it adds a whole other element. You know, you're talking a 90-minute race. You're going to have to make the decision: when do you come in for wet tires? You know, is it when it's on the horizon still? Do you wait until
before you slap it
wet?
into the fence? Probably, yes.
Yeah, that's probably a good. You know what? That's actually a pretty good judge of it. I reckon that's the way to do it. Before you slam it into the fence, that's when you should have changed tires 2 laps ago.
Yeah, absolutely. Take a note of Formula One of late. No spoiler alert, but of course it was a wet race. So if you haven't tuned into that one, that's an indication of what to do with your tires, of course. But
that was a shocker,
shall
wasn't it?
see.
Absolute shocker. Hey, we've got plenty of people in the chat with us tonight. G'day, as always, to Turtle Shell and Cram. Good to see you guys back. We've got Kyle Northey joining us. DJ's floating around as well. Joel Brufton joining us as well this evening. So lovely to have you along, folks. Hoping to bring you some really quality racing tonight, but that is, of course, all up to the drivers.
I was going to say, you can't, Jerry. You can bring quality broadcasting. And make sure you hit that follow as well, too. You've got 35 or so subscribers with about 20 or so watching. So some of you
what we like to hear. That's what we like to hear.
But that's only if you want to, because I would.
Yeah, fair enough.
Jared puts on good broadcast, simple broadcast networks, brilliant broadcasting.
Hey, on that note, we're bringing a whole new look to the broadcast tonight. We are just debuting and testing out tonight our brand new overlays. So keep an eye out for what might have changed from what you saw last week. Give us a shout in the chat. Let us know what you like, what you don't like, what you'd like to see more of. Anything you think we could add. Still a couple of bits and pieces to tidy up, but we're pretty happy with how it's starting to come together. One thing it doesn't have just yet, though, is championship standing. So let's talk about that for a moment, Biggles. Liam Jensen out in front, but Jeremy Washington right behind. 6 points separating them after the first 2 rounds. So there's not much in it, is there?
You have it up on Sim Racer Hub. I don't know if you want to post the link out there in the chat too, for people to have a look for themselves. Because Jared has actually gone there, aside from building all these fantastic graphics and somehow managed to work in there and designing a new space program, he's also put in all the standings in the Sim Racer
Just taking calls from NASA, you know how it is. Yeah. But yeah, no, we've got the standings getting updated there. So if you want to have a look, that's in the chat for you. Go check it out, but don't leave the broadcast. Stick around.
That's Lance doing Lance things. Surprise there.
Yeah, I mean, is it a Formula One race if Lance Stroll doesn't slide it? It's
Spoiler alert. I mean, he made a mistake on the formation lap, put it that way, and then blamed it on the brakes. But I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of Lance Stroll. I don't think he has many fans out there.
Look, I don't want to start on him because we could be here all night talking about Lance and my distaste for the bloke. But anyway, third in the championship, equal third in the championship, Dan Poulton. I know he's a bit of a favourite amongst the viewers, and Aaron Schotter as well, who smashed some big points out last time around. And so he's sitting in equal third. Both of those guys 15 points behind Liam Jensen. We're only 3 rounds in after this one, so you'd expect it to still be reasonably close, but these guys are really starting to stamp their authority on the series at a very, very early stage. Tonight brings a whole different set of criteria, though. When we talk about endurance, look, 90 minutes, sure, not endurance in real world terms. But when it comes to sim racing, that's about where you start to get into really having to have some strategy, isn't it, Pickles?
Yes, and so we know that some of these drivers are very, very quick in those sprint races, but we don't know how they're going to handle the situation of the endurance races, of course, with those pit stops that you're going to add in there and mistakes that could creep in. It's going to be all over the place. Plus, lap traffic as well. Most likely going to see a lot more of that in the endurance race and how they're going to navigate through that, because it's difficult enough to get many passing overtaking opportunities. There are a few around here, but it's bumpy as well too. So if you go off track, off racing line, sometimes and you hit those bumps at high speed, that fence will come out and bite you, and it could be all she wrote.
Yeah, it comes around quick. Absolutely. We're having just a few stutters tonight with the iRacing servers. I don't know if anyone else has noticed that with your driving today. If you've been putting in some practice laps, there's just a couple of things stuttering tonight, so we're going to keep an eye on that. I for one, am hoping that OBS decides to behave itself for us tonight, Pickle. So,
don't tell you.
I'd like us to
about that, mate.
I know.
It's a 50% hit and miss for me of late with that. If I'm broadcasting, thankfully, you've got a better internet connection and a better PC at the moment, mate. At the moment, in a couple of days, I'll have an edge on you on that one. But your internet's still going to be a little bit better than mine.
Hey, this is the joy of NBN. Got to hand it to the government that little way back. They didn't do too bad in getting me fibre, and I know it's not everywhere, but hey, it's here for me, so I'm happy. Let's talk a little about the rest of the top 10 in this championship. I just call out Ryan Palmer, ADHD, sitting in P5. Josh Harris, ADHD, sitting in P6. Like, what are those guys doing? It's really unusual to see them ahead of some other big names that we recognise. P7 at the moment, Reese Wakefield. P8, Brad Cooper. Then Nathan Bowman and Mitchell Curry rounding out the top 10 there. ADHD, maybe this is it. Maybe this is their niche. The GT3s are where it's at for them. But it's maybe it's just the colourful cars. I don't know. What do you reckon it is that's bringing the pace to them?
Well, a nice, fantastic looking livery does give you an extra about 5 to 10 kilometres an hour down the main straight any time.
100%. 100%.
For extra 30 horsepower, no doubt. Let us know out there in the chat who your going for? Teams that you're supporting out there, as well as the drivers, please. And I think perhaps you'll be able to convince Jared to switch the camera on some of these particular cars.
That's a big ask. That's a big ask. You never know.
Fans sometimes get what they ask for.
Well, we've got to know the Discord conversation after last race. A little bit of a cheeky dig at the broadcast. I've got to say, just mentioning the amount of airtime that a certain Daniel Poulton got. But hey, look, Danny P getting the shout out as always from Cram. Hey, we've got to give people what they want, and if they're here to see, someone they know, someone they love, then that's what it's all about, isn't it?
I think so, because an interactive network pays attention to the fans. So if you want to get a lot of spotlight time, then get your family members tuned in, your friends, your cats and dogs, things like that. Get in there, and maybe
we've got to call out though.
But your driver also has to be in some action as well too. They're driving around by themselves. It's generally going to get the camera pointing at them very often.
Yeah, exactly. And Biggles, look, we do our best, right, to make sure that we cover as much of this field as possible. No one wants to sit here and watch the top 2 or 3 drivers all night, so we always like to get a bit of variety in there, and we'll try and bring you some more of that this evening. We've got just about a minute to go until the race session starts, and we'll take you through the grid. I am hoping that it all behaves itself, so everyone just cross your fingers out there, and we'll see if this new broadcast setup works the way I'm hoping it will. I'm already taking notes here. I know. I'm already taking notes here on what I can do to bring you the grid just a little bit earlier, rather than having to wait for the race session to start. So that's on my list. Like I said before, jump in the chat and drop us a message if there's anything you do think of.
Feedback is awesome, actually, trust me, because I'm a broadcaster myself and always making improvements, and when it works, you get a big smile on your face and you go, yes, because you put hours of work into it, and you're like, yeah, it's like anything you do. You create something, you put hours of work, and you always want it to work. It doesn't always work out to the way you want, but that's tweaks and fixes, and that's something that good broadcasters always do, is they always make improvements. They don't just keep with the same thing.
If you do, sit around and not improve things anyway.
You've
honestly,
got to improve it.
You've got to improve it. You've got to work on it. There's always someone out there with a better idea than I have, and so always keen to hear it. But we are about to get underway, so let's just give iRacing a bit of headroom here to get itself started up, and the drivers will be gridding up in just a few seconds. We are not far away at all.
So we got some support out there for Danny again. We got the fan club.
Danny's got the fan club in.
Go the is it Antic boys?
Antic, yeah, we've got an Antic racing team in there, so they're along this evening as well. We'll see a few of their liveries showing up, I have no doubt, as we await the pits all coming together. Now let's take a look at the grid. Cross your fingers, folks. Let's hope this works. Jeremy Washington on pole alongside Cameron White. So putting in the times there, P1, P2, row 1 is there and ready for us. Reese Wakefield and Fadley Rahmat, a new entry tonight in P4. We've got Mitch Curry and Dan Poulton, row 3. Then Jackson Starrett and Liam Jensen just behind them. Joshua Van Treek and Gordon Smith rounding out the top 10. We've got Josh Harris, P11, alongside Scott Stevens. Aaron Schotter and Milan Payrak. Then Mitchell Wiley and Jake Robiard. Dean Powell and Cruz McPhee sitting 17th and 18th. Ryan Palmer and Nathan Bowman, followed by Dan Mirko and Chris Philippou, and Lam Newen rounding out the grid in P23. Does love his green liveries, does Lam Newen?
I like that. I like those graphics that you did too. Yeah.
Hey mate,
now you got to have the cars do a burnout as they leave the grid.
It worked. That's all you can hope for, ultimately.
Yeah.
So we'll wait for these guys to get underway. We've got about a minute before they get started. So, what do you reckon? Are we gonna see these guys take it easy off the line? You'd hope so. You'd hope so.
Race your drivers. Hopefully in endurance, yes, because you're not going to win it in the first.
Well, no, you're not
going
to win the first turn at all. At all. That sky looking a bit cloudy. It's worrying me. I'm not going to lie. We'll have to wait. And
I'll
see
bring the
what
poncho.
happens.
Don't worry, mate. We were in the booth. Okay, it's the drivers who are more worried about the wet weather than us.
You're not wrong. It is cozy in here tonight, isn't it? It's lovely.
Yes.
Can't argue in the slightest. We've got about 30 seconds to go here, Biggles. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty keen to see this get underway. We've got.
I hope Jeremy loads in, mate, because he's on pole, and
he's on pole.
He's the one that only car that hasn't loaded in yet.
Yeah, we just got to wait for him to jump on the grid. We've got just about everyone else. Chris Phillip is just jumping in and out. There's Jeremy Washington getting on there with 20 seconds to go. As we
just Chris
go
Phillip
to our
in
race audio.
Yep. Come on, Chris. Get in there, my friend. You did.
Come on, mate.
A hard
We're ready to
jacker.
go.
You get ready for the endurance.
Tell you what, it's been a while since we've done an endurance race, folks. We're used to a quick sprint race to get underway.
He's in.
But
All right.
these guys will be pushing hard, as always. I'd expect no less. We go on to starters' orders.
As Carl says, gentlemen, start your engines. Jared.
We are underway. Green flag. Everyone away cleanly. It's 90 minutes of Sebring, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what we've got.
Reese Wakefield challenging camera wide into turn 1. Side by side just behind them. Mitch Curry made a move as well to the 89
Big
machine.
slide.
We have a spinner at the back.
Big slide.
That's
Couple of them out. Oh, that's a
Millen,
rough
Herrick.
start. Yeah, Millen and Cruz McVie, Ryan Palmer all involved in that as well. Brian, this is carnage already.
And a few more come around as well too. I'm not sure if that's going to be a safety car.
That's not the start we were hoping for. But let's let him get all set up. Yep, safety car. That is the safety car. Caution flag is out. Oh,
Yeah, there has to be. I'd say there's
that's
at least
a rough
5
start.
to 6 cars involved in that one.
yeah, that's that was always going to happen off the line. But what do you do? I mean, once you get underway, 90 minutes. We've made it through. What's that about? Oh, a minute and 10. And
2 corners, 3 corners.
Yeah, 3 corners, and we've got a safety car happening. So, look, on the upside, we're going to get what is effectively a rolling start, and I think that's probably in everyone's best interest at this point. Let's see how it goes, shall we?
Yeah, and once you get that pile up, exactly. As pointed out there, Dan didn't have a good start, but he is pointing in the right direction. He's up 2 places. But let's have a look at the replay, of course, and find out where we went pole shape. Look about in midfield.
Give me one tick here, folks. We do need to do a bit of a restart on our overlay, but let's see.
I think
how
it was
goes.
Millen.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Millen that just made some contact there.
Yeah, Millen was at least in the Hornet's nest on that one, and then the other cars were spinning around. They went back onto the track.
Just carnage.
And yeah, you're going to get the replay up soon. Have a look at that one. I'm not quite sure if there's going to be massive damage of the cars. Some of them did hit the fence, but most of them are little bumper cars, so it'll be interesting. I don't see anybody in pit road as of yet.
Yeah, there was certainly some damage done to who was it that we saw flying off there? I think it was Mitchell Wiley, who went into the fence very, very hard. I'm surprised that he's still on track, honestly. I really expected him to be getting towed back after that one. But hey, what do you do?
Cram says, welcome back to the Brazilian Grand Prix.
Yeah,
well,
look,
there wasn't 5 cars off at least on that one, so we were alert. But no, that would be the Spa race back in the 90s when they lost half the field in the wet weather conditions.
You know what?
And that massive
Mitchell
crash.
Wiley, he's stranded. Ooh. He is not moving. He hasn't made it to the pits yet. He's waiting on the tow. Brian Easter's on the back there, but Mitchell Wiley, yeah, absolutely.
Get out there, Marshals, and push him
Porsche
back on the track like they did with Nico Hockenberg and then get a black flag, unfortunately. But
jeez, that's not the start anyone would have been hoping for a 90-minute enduro. But our pace car is out and about, so let's just wait and see at this point, I suppose. So the race standings haven't changed much, unsurprisingly. We'll call out for you folks that we do only have the top 20 available at the moment. We're going to get that updated for next week's race. So if you're outside the top 20, sorry, we're not going to have you up on the tower this week. But you know, more incentive to climb the ladder, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Tell you what, colourful field again. It's not just the ADHD boys bringing the colour anymore, and I appreciate the look. I'm going to say it, Danny P bringing the Vibe Gang colours there to the McLaren. So always a good look. Mitch Curry is back in his yellow and blue. Yellow and blue? Let's call it neon green, honestly. That Porsche livery that he's known for. We've, of course, got the ADHD boys out there, but there's a couple further back in the field that we'll check in on as well. Chris Philippou has the monster livery on the Porsche. If you keep an eye on him, he's just coming up to the corner here now. Got that big toothy front end on it. And of course, we've got a few others back there as well. So at some point this season, I reckon we're going to have to put in a bit of a best dressed comp of some sort. What do you think, Biggles?
Yeah, I do like that. That's not a bad idea. Absolutely.
It's not the worst idea I've ever had, right?
No.
Not the worst idea. Well, that brings us, just past 5 minutes into this 90-minute mini-enduro event, and just waiting on the pace car now. It is a long way around this track when you're not at full race pace. So we've probably got another lap or so to go here before the safety car comes in, just the way the iRacing safety car works, as we know. So a bit to wait for yet, as these guys try desperately to get some heat in. I'm just noticing the air's just getting a little foggy. You know, a few clouds around still. But we'll have to see what this brings. It's definitely starting to get darker out there, though, isn't it? Have a look at that background. It's threatening. Yeah,
I'm just keeping an eye on the Doppler radar. It's still not too bad at the moment, mate. But
that's a relief.
Could creep in.
Yeah, I mean, it's a long way to go. 90 minutes, anything can change.
We got track temperature at 28 degrees at the moment, so we'll keep an eye on that. A few more minutes with the wind speed at about 16 kilometers per hour.
And that's,
I'm not sure what wind direction that is.
It's pretty windy. What have we got? Southeasterly wind tonight, so, love a good sou'easter.
Yeah, I'm just wondering what corner that's going to affect, actually, on the track direction.
We see a first pit, Joshua Van Schreek coming in. Couple of cars actually pitting. Now, I wonder if these guys are going for tyres. I wonder if they're looking at that radar and getting nervous. Surely not.
No, yeah, it's got to be coming down at least to change to wet weather tyres.
But it's really interesting to see it pitting. Yeah, just topping it off maybe, I suppose. Yeah. Just getting the most out of it that they can at this stage. So we'll have to wait and see what race control does here with the safety car. But I'd say we've still got... I've just realised we've got to do a little bit of updating after the restart of our broadcast overlay, but we've just got to wait and see what the race control does decide here, whether they go a full extra lap, because Mitchell Wiley... Red flag? Yeah, let's see the red flag come out. Why not? Why not? Something a bit different.
I don't think they have it in iRacing.
I don't think you can red flag a race, which is...
No.
I mean, honestly, I'd love to see them add that. I understand how painful it'd be, but I'd love to see them add that for league events. That'd be kind of cool.
I think if something went pearl-shaped and drivers had, too many disconnection issues and stuff like that, that would be the red flag conditions. It wouldn't be a... well, it could be if there's a massive pile-up and, say, 15 cars out of the 25 or something like that were completely smashed up at a race start. They could red flag it and restart the session kind of thing.
Yeah, it'd be pretty awesome.
But,
yeah. And, have it set to restart it with the same amount of laps or time remaining as when you red flagged it, so it cuts it down. That'd be kind of cool. Go on,
iRacing is usually one that does like to mimic real-world racing conditions, so I'm surprised that they haven't maybe
too hard, right? It's just what's too hard. It's potentially the big question here. As we see the lights still on the safety car, so no sign just yet that they're planning to bring it on in.
Do you have replay the race start?
Don't, unfortunately.
Okay.
The restart has the restart of our overlay has not done us any favours. I've just been taking a few notes here as to what we need to fix up for next week. So hopefully not interrupting your enjoyment of the viewing action that is safety car laps out there.
I like how there's still camper vans and stuff like that trackside, so as you can see in the pictures there. very much like some of the other tracks around the world, but also even Silverstone and stuff like that, isn't it? You guys can camp on the weekend. Bathurst, of course, as well too.
Yeah.
Get your camper vans out there and set up a barbecue and your tent and stuff like that. And sit and watch the track, race trackside. Well, not Silverstone so much because you can't camp out there.
I mean,
you can here in
shot
Sebring.
if you're keen to camp in the British countryside, I suppose. Don't know if I'd really consider much camping in Britain, but hey, as long as you don't mind the rain, it's probably fine.
That's just drizzle, really, isn't it? It's
just constant drizzle. Drizzle.
Annoying drizzle.
Absolutely. The safety car just getting a little bit of a slide on there through the corner. Let's see if we are...
Is that Mitch driving it?
I don't think so.
No, Mitch is coming back. He's a lap down from pit stop. So, no. Safety car
he's got a bit of work to do. Now, I wonder...
Fred.
I wonder if... So there we go, lights out. So we are 1 to green now. 1 to green now. So we're going green next time around. I do wonder if they're going to get Mitchell Wiley around in time.
I think so. He should be able to.
He should be able to get back on the lead lap. So let's see if we can pick him up here.
I had an endurance race that I did a couple of days ago for another league, and we had about... It was a 4-hour endurance race, and we had about 4 cautions, I think. So, and it was a 3-class field as well, 2 of 60 cars. Well, 57 or something like that. So it took a bit to organise all that, especially when they're all bunched together and you have to allow the GT3 Pros to go through. You have touring cars, you've got the GT AMs, so the GT4s then as well. And yeah, so it was good. It was probably a good 10 to 15 minutes under cautions each time. So thankfully we won't have that here today.
Yeah, thankfully. Although we're going to be getting very close to 15 minutes of racing gone under caution here. This is the problem with the long laps at safety car speeds.
Yes.
It gives you an idea, like you're basically doubling your lap time, which gives you a real idea of just how quick these guys do get around.
Was like, hurry up, pace car, hurry up, get on with it. They were on the radio going, got to go any quicker here, we're losing downforce.
Hey, Reese Wakefield from Antic Racing in P2, he'll be looking to get a good jump at the start here. Right in behind Jeremy Washington, who we know is fast in that Corvette. And a couple of the BE solar cars up front as well. So good to see those Porsches up there. We did have some discussion, of course, leading up to the race as to just how you managed to tell the Porsches apart when you've got orange Porsche number 4, followed by orange Porsche number 360 there for Liam Jensen. It can get a little hard to tell them apart, but we've got something.
How do you tell them apart, actually? Specifically?
No, the liveries are very much the same, but we've got a little something up the sleeve here tonight that will hopefully help you see who's on screen when we start to pick out a couple of these battles later on in the piece. So keep an eye out for that. Let's get ready for the restart here, though, guys. Just waiting on this safety car making its way around to Sunset Bend again. We're just coming around now. Mitchell Wiley, unfortunately, not going to get to jump back on the lead lap. But that's life. That is life. Unless he makes a very, very big run here down the back straight. I mean, it's not impossible. Let's just see if we can pick him up. Where is he? He's just catching up to the field now.
Yeah, he'll be at the back of the pack by the time they get the restart done because they're coming around the final corners now.
Yeah, he's not going to get the wave through though. There he is, just tacking onto the back. That long straight as the drivers make their way on down. Mitch Curry just trying to get some last minute attempts into the tyres before we go green again. Let's hope.
Here we go. As soon as Jeremy hits the lap pedal, let's go.
Bunching up behind him. And there he goes, Jeremy Washington makes the jump. And they're away. Green flag conditions again. And we're going 4, 5, 6 wide. I tell you what, it's likely to cause some issues as we enter turn 1. Let's see if everyone makes it through here. Oh, a couple of guys going wide. That's Mitch Curry off into the dirt. One of the ADHD entries as well. Chris Philippou getting followed by Jake Robiart, who's made some moves as well up through the field in the restart. Let's just see if these guys settle it down a little here, because we have a long way to go. Still an hour and 15 of this race. Round 3 of the MC Motorsport GT3 Championship. Let's have another crack at this. Mitchell Curry side by side, a little bit of bump and rub there with Aaron Schotter from Antic, as they just try and establish some track position. Mitch Curry gets the move done, makes his way through on Aaron Schotter, but he's not done for yet. Still side by side here, and we're just keeping an eye on Gordon Smith in behind as well. So far so good. We look like, I don't want to jinx it, but we look like we're going to get underway with some solid racing.
Yeah, as they're navigating through the tricky parts of the track now, the track gets a lot narrower, and the drivers have to be a little bit more cautious. Off into the kitty litter. Mitch Curry.
He's off the track. Contact there with Aaron Schotter, I suspect.
Yes, it was.
So wait and see.
I don't think any damage.
We'll go back and check out the replay.
So, you might be okay. Just drops a couple of places, but unfortunately.
And let's go back and see if we can see just what caused that for Mitch Curry. As everyone else just starts to sort themselves out.
Door banging here. Gets turned right there.
Yep. Just put some pressure on. Look, honestly, I think he's probably just perhaps understeered that a bit. And he hasn't left quite enough room there for Aaron Schotter perhaps to make it through. But here we go. Jeremy Washington out in front. And these guys are starting to just separate out a little bit from the rest of the pack.
3 wide going into turn 1 too, back in P11, 12 and 13. In fact, they've done to 2 columns now, 2 rows and 2 columns, so 2 by 2 by 2 almost, and they somehow did navigate through there quite well, allowing enough space.
Here it is. This is the battle for 12th we're watching now. That is Rachman out in front, the blue and red Ferrari, with McVie, Mirko, Treek, Palmer all right behind, and then a bunch of other cars not far behind at all. And so these guys are looking to put some moves on, but we did see in practice that Rachman was very, very fast. So, you know, there's plenty to play for. So come through the mini S's.
Tell you who's gained a lot in this race. Number 29, Porsche, the green machine, Chris. He's up 14 places already.
Huge move. Let's have a look at that, actually. When you take a look at some of the moves, Jeremy Washington about the only person that hasn't changed his position since the start. Lots of ups and downs right through the field. So we see Dan Mirko coming under pressure here from Josh Van Trick and Ryan Palmer. This is the P14 we're watching right now. But plenty of action back here in the pack. We'll go up front, though. Jeremy Washington he's not pulling away at the moment. Reese Wakefield's hanging on to him. We've got Cam White, Liam Jensen, Jackson Starrett, Daniel Poulton, crowd favourite. And then a couple of seconds back, we get into P7 with Gordon Smith.
Yeah, they've all sliced about a second now to each other in the top 5, 6. And Reese Wakefield just put the fastest lap in 202.72. But then again, Jeremy was a 202.73. So it's not like a fastest lap means you're taking a chunk of change out of Jeremy Washington. But they are starting to catch him. More importantly, Liam Jensen just replaced the fastest lap. He did at 201.42. That was a pretty quick lap. And now he is on the back of his teammate, Cameron White, who's gone loosey-goosey into the kitty litter. Liam had to lift off, and that's going to allow Jackson Starrett will go sliding on by and say thank you very much. Liam's under pressure there from the crowd favourite, Dan the Man, who's now back in P5 where he started the race initially before the caution car, and now he's up to speed. He is putting pressure on Liam.
It's starting to separate out, isn't it? We've got a few gaps opening up. Most of the sprint's pretty close, but then you'll get just in between these packs, just a couple of seconds here and there. It doesn't seem like much now, but with an hour and 10 to go, there's a lot to happen yet when it comes through to pit stops and general strategy over the course of the rest of this race. None of these cars are going to make it to the end on what they've got in the tank, so everyone's making at least one stop here. What I'll be interested to see is what difference, if any, it makes for the likes of Ryan Palmer, Josh Van Trick, Scott Stevens, who have all made a stop so far. Ryan Palmer's made picked up 4 spots despite that stop. So, yeah, look, there's a bit yet to come.
Yeah, it could be good strategy later on, for sure. And I don't know, the cameras are going to be pointing at Daniel. And that's not just intentional or favoritism towards Daniel. It's just because Daniel's in the hot zone right now. This is one of the closest battles on track to see.
Absolutely is.
He's on the back there of Leland Jensen, and Jackson just got past Starrett before. Reese has now dropped 2 seconds from Jeremy, so all that amount of pressure he's put on, Jeremy's responded and started cranking it up with the gear, and now he's got a 2.2 second gap.
Really interesting line there from Starrett. Took a very, very early apex, and that's going to cost him a little bit of pace coming out here. I don't know if it was a defensive line or if he's just testing out a bit of the tyres. It's that's an interesting choice. But he leads out this battle for third with Jensen and Poulton still right behind him. And have a look at that battle pack in behind though. The battle there for P6. Probably 7 cars in contention back there. So we'll keep an eye on this one because this is where the action is. As Liam Jensen takes a big look up the inside of Jackson Starrett. Daniel Poulton's just tagging onto the back at the moment.
Yeah, Daniel couldn't take advantage of that opportunity, but he will here now. Because he'll get the exit speed.
Side by
and in
side,
fact, Jackson has to be very careful that Gordon doesn't try to sneak on by here as well.
Oh, Starrett pushing Danny P off to the side, but Danny P's got the inner line. What's he going to make of it? Starrett has gone from third back to fifth in the matter of a couple of corners. Just some poor track positioning. And he's found himself on the outer. But
Starrett's defending himself into the fence.
Big hit. Let's keep
he comes back onto the track on the opposite side, and lucky didn't take anybody else out. That's a big impact there. And he's crab walking as well, I think. Yeah, the car's
that's some serious suspension damage. I'm going to be surprised. It's drifting time.
He's got to get off the racing line right now. He has compromised other people's race. That's dangerous, my friend. You've got to pull off the side.
I tell you what, that's a hell of an effort to control that at the moment. He's given it everything.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, that's like, it looks like he's drifting in the celebration. Unfortunately, he's just trying to bring
a long way off
that. He's got a long way to go, and thankfully now, oh no, he can't keep it straight. Thankfully now, there's nobody behind him, so he's not going to be compromising anybody else's race.
We'll leave him to his pain back there. That's unfortunate for Jackson Starrett, but plenty of time left to try and make it up, and you never know what can happen from here. So we look back up front. This is, of course, Jeremy Washington and Reese Wakefield just settling in at the front of the pack and opening up a bit of daylight now. 3.5 seconds back to Liam Jensen in P3. And then, of course, Gordon Smith now in P5. But a pack of cars just waiting for the mistake. Just waiting for the mistake from Gordon Smith or Cameron White, for that matter. The two teammates won't want to put too much pressure on each other, but they've got to be aware that they've got 4 other cars that desperately want to get through and get up into those higher positions, pick up some more points here tonight. It's going to be tight.
There's a huge hornet's nest back in 14 downwards too, my friend. Scott Stevens, Nathan Dornman, and we have Liam Nugent that's gone off the track somewhere, and that's from P21. But I still want to keep my eyes peeled on this other little, as I said, hornet's nest. There's two major battles happening at the moment. Major battles happening behind Dan and Man P4, and then major battles, or was a major battle, was behind Scott Stevens in P15.
Plenty going on all over the track, but yeah, let's take a look back at Scott Stevens now. This is back in P15, so Nathan Bowman and Dan Mirko just tracking him down at the moment. Oh, look, credit where credit's due. If we were having a best dressed comp tonight, I reckon Scott Stevens would be up there for me. I really love that Porsche livery. It's understated, it's not as bright as a lot of others. But
is it chrome?
Well put together.
No, it's not.
There might be some hints of it through there, but it's nicely put together, that 51 car. That's not going to be enough. Bit of wipers going there. I don't know if that's meant to throw him off or what. But Nathan Bowman, he's taken a look. He's quick, Nathan Bowman. He's absolutely got the pace. So Stevens is going to have to just keep a very close eye on his mirror. And here goes Bowman. He's looking up the inside.
No, maybe sunset. Maybe.
I mean, he's right on the tail.
Yeah, he's going for it here.
got the extra pace. Does he have the braking? No.
Oh, yep. No, that's where you brake a little bit earlier and then get on the last enough space to the right. Hooks it.
Big slide. Oh, that's cost him some pace, but he's... big slide there. Dan Mirko. Oh, no. He stopped at the worst possible spot. Brian East had nowhere to go. Thankfully, right at the pit entry. Oh, that was rough.
He's been blocked. He's been blocked, I think. Who is that, Ryan? Ryan's just completely in front of him. And...
So let's keep an eye on this. This is Dan Mirko.
Yeah, so Dan couldn't get... Dan had to reverse up to come back around.
And he's ended up stopped dead. Just 1, 2, and then Brian East, the third car. These guys with nowhere to go. And, that's some damage done. Dan Mirko trying to get the car going again and into the pits.
But you watch this, see? It gets blocked completely. It's not intentional, of course. It's just
it's just where they've ended up.
We got a caution.
Yeah.
Another safety car.
It's going to happen. It looks like Ryan Orford there, the 690 Rusty's 95 Lightning McQueen entry. He's not going anywhere, which is a real shame because he's right next to the pits too. Right next to the pits and just couldn't get it going again. So under caution once again. We might take a moment just to review. There are a couple of updates from race control from that lap 1 incident. No further action for any of those contacts, thankfully. I think that was just a bit of unlucky timing. A long platform time for a lot of the drivers that were involved in that early one. But the drivers will start to bunch up once again.
Where were you seeing these race control messages?
iRacing chat, my friend. It's
in iRacing, yes. Okay.
Yeah, it's not the easiest to keep an eye on, but it's about the best option we've got.
I just can't look at it if I'm generally broadcasting. Yeah. Screen, but anyway, I can't see it. Yep.
So we are back under safety car conditions. The safety car rolls on out of pit lane. There it goes, picks up Jeremy Washington up in front. So that's a couple of big incidents to kick us off.
But it will be good. It will be good for some of the drivers to be able to get those cars fixed.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, Ryan is stuck. Ryan Orford is completely.
He'll be waiting on the toe.
Bend.
Yeah, he'll be waiting on the toe from race control.
So now some of these drivers that had damage, they may have elected to do minimum repairs. I'm curious to see once they go back around if you guys will come back in there. If there's any wheels a little, maybe.
Mitchell Wiley.
Minor damage.
Got slammed in that first one. Got caught up in that incident as well. I think he was car number 3 into it. He is out. He's out. So I reckon he's been told there's too much damage. They cannot repair that car and get him back in the action tonight. That's really unfortunate for Wiley. I think he just got caught up in both of those instances. He got caught a bit off track there on the pace car lap from who was that? Back in 10th, was that Milan? Just running a bit wide, maybe just picking up a bit of extra traction from rocks in the tyres, I don't know. But yeah, Mitchell Wiley, really, really unfortunate for him, getting caught up in both of the major incidents this evening, and I think that's probably spelled the end of his Porsche tonight. Really, really unfortunate.
It will be the only retirement currently. Now Ryan, I think Orford may retire. We're not quite sure he's going to get that toe back, but at the moment his car's still stricken in the final turns.
I didn't appreciate the clarification from Dr. Cock in the chat. Hello, Mitch. It's really unfortunate. Hey, look, 8 minutes of repairs. You know, there's still time to get back amongst it, mate. Wouldn't count it out yet. There's a lot to go. Still another hour of racing, so I'm going to sit here and encourage you to get back in there and see if you can pick it up. But yeah, just a rough couple of events for Mitch Wiley, who's in the chat with us now. And yeah, his Porsche, those mechanics have got their work cut out for them to get out racing again for next week. That's for sure.
Yeah, do you want to come into the waiting room and have a quick chat to us about that race, maybe?
Yeah, if you're around, Mitch,
we've got another lap of the pace car.
Yeah, absolutely. And always welcome
to from the drivers.
Come and join us in the comm box and have a chat about the race and how frustrating it probably was. But hey, this is racing, right? And the good news that I have is that pranging a Porsche in iRacing a hell of a lot cheaper than doing it in the real world. I can tell you that much.
Oh yeah, you bet. Yeah.
All you're losing here is time. So
yeah, and when you're doing it, it's even more of an expense. At least this way you don't have to rebuy anything.
Can you imagine having to actually pay for repairs on one of these GT3 cars if you put it into a wall at Sebring in the real world?
That's why you'd have to have a friend that works at a car mechanic or something like that. We are seeing drivers coming in pit road, and that would be maybe as to be expected. Jeremy, race leader, going in there. Reese Wakefield there. Dan, Cameron White, Aaron, Jake. Yeah, just about everybody so far. A couple of drivers will like to stay out. Why not? Track position is key a lot of the times, but they will still have to go to the pit road later on. But
give you a bit of a view of who's in the pits right now. Take a look at those splits. Virtually the whole field. The top 20, we've only got, 6 cars that are actually out on track still. The rest of them in the pits and just taking advantage of the opportunity to top up the fuel and maybe just check the weather report, see what's ahead.
Yeah, let me have a look at the moment.
Dan Moko getting through there as well. It's a worry.
No participation. No, we still have to wait about another 15 minutes, I think, before that might pick up.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll have to keep an eye on it then. Back up front, we've got Liam Jensen now finds himself in the lead. Hasn't made a pit stop yet, though. So probably won't be the best placed in terms of fuel. Mitch Curry back in P6. You can see him there in the neon and blue Porsche just passing your screen now. He's the first of these cars that has actually made a stop tonight.
Yeah, I know. So he could be... But that was back on lap 5.
Yeah, a little while ago.
Mistaken.
A little while ago.
So, yeah, we're on lap 12, just to let everybody know. It's an endurance race, so it's based on time, not laps. But
I've probably got about another...
Considering we had...
30 laps? What do you reckon? About another 30 laps, assuming no more safety cars. Every safety car, of course, cuts down the number of laps.
Yeah, it does too. Just caution, saving fuel, less wear on the tyres, and so forth.
And this is all part of the strategy. Like you've got to count on there being safety cars. You just got to hope that they come through at the right time for you. And I'm not convinced that it's the right time for anyone here.
So the top 5 drivers, just to let everybody know out there, are the only drivers that haven't been down pit road yet. At least by my statistics, you can double confirm that for you, mate. So I had to restart something. But
yeah, no, it looks about right to me as well.
Top 5.
A few other pit stops there around the place. What's worth calling out? Fast repairs. So if we look at who's on track at the moment, Mitch Curry in P6 has used his fast repair, as has Dan Merco, as has Ryan Palmer, as has Josh Harris. Dean Powell back in P10 hasn't, and those top 5 haven't used their fast repairs either. So these guys are doing their best to stay out of trouble.
How do you know they've used their fast repairs real quick?
I got visibility of that on my telemetry, my friend.
Oh, I need to look at that.
We were taking a bit of conversation off air before this, folks, around the various pros and cons, I suppose you call it, of ATVO, the broadcast software we use here at Simple Racing Broadcasts, and SDK, which I think a lot of people might be familiar with. And it's really interesting, just some of the little differences between them. But all in all, they're both pretty awesome programs.
Yes, I'm actually going to send him a message right now going, is there any way I can look at fast repairs on my end?
There's got to be a way to see it, because it's helpful.
I'm going to ask him, yeah, I know, exactly. If you can see it, then that iRacing is providing that data.
Yeah, no, it's 100% there.
Yes.
100% there. Yeah, Dean Powell, no fast repair used. Cameron White, Chris Phillip, who's used his. There's quite a lot of the field have had to use their fast repair already, which changes the way they're going to drive. That's the thing. Like once you use that fast repair, you know that if you do punch it into a wall, you're not getting in and out of that pit stop quickly. You're going to be out there and having to not only crawl back to the pits if you do put it into a wall, but then sit there for potentially 5, 10, 15 minutes just to get the car back on track. And so at that point, you've got to decide, well, is it worth hanging around? And this is the thing. This is why I said to Mitch before, and I don't know if he's still with us in the chat here, but the only other reason to jump back in, even if you're not bringing back those laps, is that there are still points on offer for P24, P25, but you have to have completed a certain number of laps for iRacing to award you any points. So
yeah. Well, then, and on
gotta
top
get in
of it, there's a
amongst
couple of things. Hey, you got to think about it. This is what I scheduled to do for tonight, right? For the amount of time you're doing this whole practice session, qualifying, racing, and stuff. So you've already allocated a couple of hours to do that tonight.
I've already decided this is what you're doing for the evening.
That's what you're doing for the evening, exactly. And on top of it, even running at the back, even running by yourself or whatever, you're getting practice. And remember, not a lot of people have a lot of time, so you might as well chuck that practice in anyway, because it's race condition practicing. And not just getting out there and practicing by yourself. So that's also key, crucial experience that will help you at some point more and more in the future.
And look, I don't want to brag too much, but I'm a bit of a professional when it comes to driving around at the back by myself. And I can tell you, every bit of practice helps.
You're at your own battle that way too. You could be just battling yourself for your fastest lap to get some improvements. Find
or even just for consistency.
ways, and of course, on top of that, you might be having to deal with blue flags. That's also experience. Having to learning and get out of some of the drivers' ways, and there's just everything there. To me, is just the experience. So again, it comes back to the fact that you're already going to allocate a couple of hours to do this tonight. Because if you were leading the race, you wouldn't be thinking about retiring it. So get the practice in, especially these conditions as well too, where it's getting participation may be increasing. We might get rain, changeable conditions, something very, very hard once again to replicate in a practice session. As well. And practice 100%. Session, you don't have all these cars necessarily around. You'd have to join some other random session with other drivers in there, and then you don't know these drivers. They're not the drivers that you race in a league with, so therefore they could do silly things. They could, meatball you and things like that, and you get upset and frustrated. Well, use this time wisely.
Absolutely, my friend, absolutely. Take a look at some of the movers and shakers here. Now, keeping in mind that the top 5 have not made their pit stop, so it's not surprising to see them up a fair few numbers. Dan Mirko, P7, he's made a pit stop so far, and not a particularly quick one either. He's had a bit of repair work to do, but he's actually up 14 spots at the moment. So he's well positioned, as is Ryan Palmer, up 11. So these guys in a reasonable bit of shape right now. 53 minutes left to run. They're looking good. There's some points on offer.
Yeah, and Liam, our championship leader, who's had 4 starts to the season, 2 wins. He's had 3 top 5 positions. He's on 200 points, leading this race, but hasn't taken that pit stop. Jeremy, now remember, who's been leading the whole field, is now currently all the way running back in P13. And so he got beaten out of pit road by Ryan Palmer, Josh Harris, Dean Powell, Cameron White, Chris as
There's
well.
Quite a few drivers in there. Comes pace.
So let's go. He's taken a little bit more gas, but let's go racing.
Liam Jensen takes the green flag. No jumps here. Everyone in a tight pack as we come down towards turn 1. And these black and orange BE solar cars are everywhere through the field tonight. Cold tyres here, gents. Remember, they've got to take it easy. They make their way through. Everyone looking reasonably clean so far, which is good to see. Track starts to tighten up now, though. So can we keep it clean and get some more green flag racing? Meg Curry in the chat. G'day, Meg. Good to have you with us. Hopefully.
Hello, Meg.
Hopefully, Mitch
Mitch is in P5. Meg, give you an update currently at the moment. He's up a place from the start. Second caution of the evening that we've just had, or third. I can't remember now. Either way, it's heating up, especially Jeremy Washington's trying to slice his way through the field there. Dan's off into the kitty litter.
I have to just try and get that back on track.
Dan Merckx, that is. Sorry to threaten everybody out there that's thinking of the other Dan.
No, that's Dan Paulton's still just jetting around back in P18, so he's still on track.
I think he's sitting back, mate, because there's a ton of traffic up the road, and that's where the hot zone is. There's a couple of drivers that come together, so he's taking it easy.
Actually, with Mitch Curry here. So this is the view from just over Mitch Curry's shoulder, as he looks ahead at Cruz McPhee and Nathan Bowman. And it's still pretty tight, but look at Liam Jensen starting to pull away out in front. Now, he's opened up a second, just shy of a second and a half over this second through fifth sort of pack. Josh Harris and Ryan Palmer, meanwhile, are tucked in right behind Mitch Curry as well. So they make their way down the long back straight. Plenty of time to get the pace up.
Dean Power gets past Liam Nugent. And Liam Nugent's under big pressure from Cameron White. Says he said the entrance to the corner not very good. Jeremy Washington and Aaron just behind them. Reese Wakefield. Reese Wakefield was running second just before their last caution car. But they've taken that pit stop. That's something that Liam and all that need to do too. They need to perhaps get a huge gap there to compensate a pit stop later on.
Yeah, that's some work
if they
to
go
do.
deep into this race.
That's work to do.
What? 40 minutes into this race. We're not even halfway, about 50 minutes remaining. So lots of drama, lots of excitement, and lots of action.
Speaking of drama, Ryan Palmer, P7, has just been black flagged. He'll be serving the drive-through. Now, I wonder why that is for the contact lap 1, turn 1. So Ryan Palmer, all the way back 40 minutes ago, found to be at fault. I tell you what, the stewards must have spent some time reviewing that.
Yeah.
Because it was a mess. It was a mess, that one. So he's going to be serving that penalty. Liam calling out. Liam Curry obviously watching that as well. Go Mitch. Up in P5 at the moment. And look, some good points on offer for him if he can hold it together there. Right behind him, let's take a look. This is Josh Harris, Ryan Palmer. Look at those ADHD entries. Very, very.
Yeah, I hope they work together as teammate. No papaya orders there.
No, absolutely not. Everyone starts to just settle back into the rhythm. Jake Robillard looking like he's having issues. Let's go back and just check that out briefly. Let's see where this is. This is coming into turn 1 off that front straight. Oh, big lock up. And just, doesn't get it back under control and into the fence.
That's high speed fence impact there. That'll definitely knock your steering alignment out.
Thankfully, not too much damage. It looks like he's back underway reasonably easily. So, Jake Robillard found himself back in P21 just off the timing tower. As the ADHD boys go hunting. Let's see if Ryan Palmer's coming in to serve his drive-through now. He's going to try and just drag that out a bit, I think, if he can. Make our way down the front straight. Once again, 48 minutes and change to go in this 90-minute enduro. So we're coming up on halfway. And just another drive-through being issued here. That is car number 885, Milan Perak, has been given a drive-through for failure to follow safety car procedure.
He might want to be happy with that one, actually, believe it or not, because he's behind in P14, behind Reese Wakefield, Jeremy Washington, Aaron Schotter and Cameron White. Aaron Schotter at the moment trying to get past Cameron White and Liam Nugent. So, if anything, Millen could just go, you know what, I'll serve him, because I don't want to be in that hornet's nest right now anyway. Whoa! Is that Liam Nugent going super slow into the turn? And that's going to compromise him place there. He's got Jeremy Washington on his tailpipe right now. Yeah, Liam's just lost out, I think, to Cameron White.
Liam Ewan, that is, isn't it? P11?
Yeah.
Green and white.
That's correct.
White Lamborghini. In fact, the only Lamborghini.
He's losing another place at the moment. In fact, he's definitely compromised or something. He might have got some damage or something on that machine, but he is struggling big time. He's dropping another place,
does he? It looks intact, though. This is the thing. It's always strange to see.
Someone's like one of those mint candies damage that you want to eat.
Yeah, it kind of does. It kind of does. Always a good-looking livery, though, Len Muir. You might recall, if you're an avid watcher of the MC Motorsport series, Len, of course, responsible for the Jaguar green livery on the Super Formula lights. You'll see him getting around with that. Green, definitely his colour.
I've got a signed hat from Mark Webber when he was in Jaguar. That's what we talking about Jaguar. Yeah, that's when I went back down in Melbourne. F1 GPs. But we're not in Melbourne. We're in Florida. We're in Sebring.
Sebring, gotta love it. So let's see. Oh, now there's an interesting one.
Yeah, Ryan going in.
No, Ryan going in to serve his penalty. Race control just advising Aaron Schotter a drive-through for excessive weaving causing contact on lap 5. So that's under safety car. Wow.
You know what? There are some penalties. And I'll tell you what, that endurance race I was telling you about earlier, that was a 4-hour endurance race of GT3s, GT4s, and touring cars. One of the drivers got a penalty for excessive flashing the headlights. I never heard of that before. They got a 10-second penalty
the sporting
for it.
code. It is against the iRacing sporting crews. So
it is. This is a daytime race too, so it's not like it's crazy annoying, which you can get at night time. Especially driving some VR and stuff. But anyway, the race control was strict, mate. They went, no more sit around here, mate. No backtrack. We're going to throw penalties at tooth and nail like the Formula One Association.
Yeah, why not? We're watching here the battle for P9. This is Aaron Schotter and Johnny Washington going at it. Washington obviously looking to make a move back up through the field. He's one of the championship front runners. We know he's got the pace. That Corvette definitely got it moving last week. But where were we? Catalunya last week. So we know he's got the pace.
Best wishes for everybody in Spain too. They're quite annoyed at the moment at the King for turning up a couple of days late or short. I'm trying to help people out.
Yeah, look, nothing like a bit of politics, eh? Nothing like it. We'll try and avoid the monarchy versus republic debate tonight, though. Yeah, because it is all about Porsche versus Ferrari versus McLaren up front.
Nugent. Liam Nugent's in contact with Millen, I think it is. There it is. Sorry to cut you off on that one.
No, you're right. Liam Nugent making contact. Millen Perrick off the track in the background.
And didn't Millen Perrick have a drive-through to serve as well, too?
Absolutely did. Absolutely did. Let's go back and take a look at that. So side by side here, Lam Nguyen going very, very wide, and Milan's just what an interesting move.
I gotta say that Nugent may be a part of that responsibility. He's been struggling and has been catching some of these drivers off guard.
Let's take another look at this
and have a look at the speed. Yeah, it's got to be the speed difference. He's struggling with the pace, and the nose has come in there, obviously. I think definitely you'd have to say that Millen had the exit. He had half the car ahead, and he's being clipped. And I would say if that was a one-time thing, sure, but Nugent has been struggling, not just then, but I saw a lot of cars struggling to get past him and stuff like that too. So he's every right to defend himself, but he clearly is having he's got a wounded car at the moment, and surely at that point you shouldn't be fighting too much.
Stewards will be taking a look at it, because look, I'm going to take the alternative view of that. I actually think Milan came out too far, didn't afford Lamb the racing room that he actually needed to complete that corner. Like, yeah, Lamb was.
But I only say that because he's been seeing how Liam's been struggling of late. That's all. I think if Liam hasn't been struggling, they wouldn't have. He probably wouldn't have done that. I think.
But on the corner entry, Lamb wasn't actually battling with Milan. He was battling with one of the BE solar cars, Origin Black Porsche number 17, or whichever it was. But on the way through, he's pulled out of that battle and then hasn't been afforded the room that I think he probably needed there. So it'll be interesting to see what the stewards do make of that, if indeed Milan's called it through. And watching here, though, just behind them, this is the battle for P13. Chris Philippou up against it with Fadli Rahmat and Joshua Van Treek.
And let you know that Liam, the race leader, and P2 Gordon Smith are heading into pit road now. Oh, there's contact.
Joshua Van Treek and Chris Philippou going around, and that leaves Rahmat to just drive away with P13. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's a bit.
That corner is brutal.
We're just under over halfway now, and drivers are driving sometimes like it's the last lap. But again, they have every right to try to do overtakes. But all right, look, by the way, Mitch Curry fans out there, Meg, Mitch is now in P2, but he's yet to make a pit stop. Actually, Mitch has made a pit stop.
Synchronized slides there.
Get rid of that
from Van Treek,
that bridge,
and Philippou.
So you can see the drivers, please, iRacing.
But yeah, I actually do wonder a little bit about how much Lam Nguyen had there, that he could have left room for those guys to get through. Now, Lam Nguyen has just been penalised. Drive through for failure to leave room.
This is what I thought. So,
yep.
And I'm sorry, Lam Nugent. I'm sorry, mate. You're a great guy and driver and stuff like that. I just say struggling for so. I don't know why you're struggling. Carl, you probably. But let us know later on and stuff like that in the chat. But I like the fact he's still out there giving it a go.
Yeah, look, he's not slow.
No, he's certainly got the speed. No, some tracks, some things, and once again, we don't know if he's got problems. car or problems with setup, or cat's jumped on his lap or something like that. All sorts of things that happen.
Absolutely. Watching here the battle for 5th. This is Power Washington and Wakefield going at it. And just off the back, that is, of course, Danny P. Just lurking in the background. In fact, let's...
you get the chat fired up again now.
Let's add him to the list here so we can keep an eye on whether he's closing on Power. He's certainly threatening. Washington, take a big look. Oh, jinx. Just putting pressure on Power to go defensive. That's opened up the door a little there for Wakefield, though. The Antic Racing entry looking to make the move. Colton just dropping away a little. Here we go again. These three will stay well and truly into it. 40 minutes to run. Nathan Bowman into the pits there as these guys all roll on through.
Yeah, which means it'll go Mitch in the lead. And we're kind of wondering him amidst pit stop earlier, just to let you know if you tuned in. I know you did, Meg. Mitch did go down a pit road back in lap 5. So he's on a little disadvantage for some of the drivers for how much gas he's going to have in the car. But he still has track position. He has 2-second gap over Josh Harris. He's got 39 minutes to do something about whatever the next strategy would be if he has to go back down a pit road, which I suspect he would have to. But then again, probably so do some of the other drivers as well, because we've had these pace cars that come in there, so the fuel strategy's a little bit, complicated at the moment because of the fact that when they're running obviously on a pace car they're not burning as much gasoline.
Absolutely. In fact, it's worth noting at this point we are actually to move this one up. It's the battle for 4th now. Power Washington Wakefield because Bowman has jumped on now.
Jeremy Washington's on the back of Dean Power, and hey, take it easy with the Deans, mate. Right.
Hey, no, look,
Dean's the Dean of Deans, right? The 1999 machine that's 14 places up. I'm the other Dean up here, so if us Deans stick together, then you take it easy getting past these Washington.
Keep an eye on this battle for 4th, though, because all of these guys within pretty much a second. With Danny P back in P7, he's 1.1 behind Power. So Dean Power's got quite a little train in behind him.
He's got the power of the Dean.
He does, but he's also got a lot of pressure on because Jeremy Washington, Reese Wakefield, both very, very quick. And so he's gonna have to play pretty defensively here. Big slide goes very, very wide. That's going to be enough, I think.
Oh, Dean, you're mirror driving. You're mirror driving, my friend. You're looking in the mirrors as you're going in the corner, not focusing on the corner itself. Sorry, that's what it looked like to me, because he's aware of the fact that Jeremy Washington is a very, very quick driver, and Reese Wakefield. Both those drivers were leading the race earlier on too, so they're trying to make their way back up to the field.
Danny P looking to make the move through, doesn't quite pull it off. He was very, very close there. Very close.
He had an off-track in his last lap too.
Yeah, he's gonna have to watch those incident points. They stack up pretty quickly. But Jeremy Washington now just started to open up a little bit of a gap on these guys. It's not much.
Jeremy wants to go back to the top. That's where he was. He's got to catch Mitch, who's leading this race. And the gap to Mitch Curry to Jeremy Washington is 5 to almost just shy of 6 seconds.
Yep. Another drive-through coming through there for car number 862, which is, of course, Fadli Rahmat. That is for the contact. And that was that synchronised slide that we saw just a couple of laps ago.
Oh, yes.
He's been found at fault for the contact there, which is not surprising, honestly.
Somebody's going to be to blame sometimes with an incident. We go one way or the other. Race control. Do look at it, just to let everybody know, race control have all the different angles. They'll rewind it, they'll fast forward, they'll look at it from all the different camera angles that iRacing provides, and then they'll make a decision on that, including netcode, including also as well, have these drivers also had a bit of an incident before? Have they been door banging a couple laps earlier? There's a lot of other things at play than just one little moment on the track as well.
Speaking of a moment in the sun here for Mitch Curry. Out in front, just shy of 3 seconds ahead of Josh Harris. So there's Josh Harris just coming through the final turn now. Curry just enjoying some clean air, not too much pressure. Got a lapped car in the middle. That's Jackson Starrett, who's a lap down. And look, we know Starrett's got pace, so he's not going to be holding anyone up behind. But Mitch Curry looking pretty comfortable at this point. Long way to go.
Yeah, the other
36
cars
minutes.
will have to navigate through the Jackson and then the 555 machine. So there, I mean, as Mitch Curry has already navigated past him, but Josh Harris is the next one. But more than anything, Josh is going to be carrying Cameron White right up his tailpipe. Cameron White's going to seize this opportunity. I'll be very careful too. If you have a spotter, if I was Cameron White, I'd be like, mate, there's a lap car coming up here. So if you're going to do it, mate, I think he's going to send it right now. Yes, he will. They're going to make it
straight
stick,
on
get
through.
on, exit, and done. Yeah, so he didn't even need the lap car to come into play.
And just in the background, who else but Jeremy Washington? That Corvette is making the move. So Cam White and Josh Harris battling away with each other here, giving Mitch Curry just a little bit more space. He's just over 3 seconds now. These guys battled out, and Jeremy Washington's coming to play as well. So this is the on-track battle for P2. We're watching right now Cam White, the BE Electrical and Solar, number 4 entry there, orange and black Porsche, with Josh Harris. And now Jeremy Washington is within a second off the back of Josh Harris.
And I'm still trying to keep an eye on that lap 21 machine. Sorry, that 21 place there. That's Jackson's currently. Jackson's doing some good laps here. He's competitive.
He's quick,
so they're not
absolutely.
catching him. They're not catching him like tooth and nail. It's just that Jackson, of course, just had a moment early in the race. That's the reason why he's running currently back down. 13 places, lost in 21st. But they're not going to be just like blue flag, get past easily. He'll have to get from his tailpipe first before he does lift it all up through.
So it looks right now, the battle for P2. Cameron White out in front, almost a second behind Josh Harris and Washington. 1.3 back, but closing that gap very quickly.
Down into turn 1.
Take a look at that just behind. These three have been going at it. There's Danny P making the move, and he goes through on Reese Wakefield. So that changes it up again. Danny P making the move, puts him up into P6.
Yeah, and the fight actually, Josh Harris and Cameron White. Cameron White's coming back. Josh Harris has allowed Jeremy Washington to catch him. Dean and Daniel are a little bit further down the road here, so I would expect this three-way fight to turn into a five-way fight very, very soon.
We're about to have a huge battle pack on our hands. As Cam White goes through again, so Harris got through on him, but here's Jeremy Washington now. He's right on the tail, and these guys are holding it up now, just enough that Dean, Daniel, and Reese, in behind them, can smell the back of that battle pack.
And on top of that, they're still all approaching Jackson Starrett pretty quickly. At some point they will. And Mitch has already cleared him, Mitch Curry. So Mitch has some big smile on his face because he's now got a 5-second gap to the rest of the field.
Huge. Absolutely. So let's keep an eye on this pack. Have a look at it coming down the straight here. Everyone just drafting nicely. Still 32 minutes, almost 33 minutes to go in this 90-minute mini-enduro. These guys racing like it's a sprint.
Just throwing a message saying we're going to add an extra plus 3 hours. That on top. Top of it, there's a tornado warning.
Now, it is worth calling out, Race Control has acknowledged the redress as well between Jake Robillard and Aaron Schotter, so that's good to see. So no further penalty there, was redressed appropriately. And it's always good to see that, right? Where Race Control don't have to step in and enforce something.
Yes.
Acknowledge
and sometimes they are listening to the drivers. The drivers will actually go formally apologise sometimes for that sort of stuff, which can get them off, and it does it in real life as well. When drivers admit my bad mistake, and they won't necessarily seize an opportunity to overtake or something.
Jeremy Washington very, very wide, lots of dirt there. Hasn't slowed him down though, as he continues to push on. He's now up behind Cam White. He's made it past Josh Harris in amongst all of that. And I tell you what, these guys, this 5-way, 6-way battle for P2, I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting to have to include 6 cars in our little battle pack graphic, so I'm going to have to make some amendments to that next time around.
I told you that. Well, I know you didn't plan for this in your graphics, so fantastic graphics too, by the way. You've got a couple of thumbs up out there for people. By the way, do give us a thumbs up. In fact, I'm going to do it right now, actually, Jared. Thumbs up, and even more if you are enjoying the broadcasting. Subscribe goes a long way. So
I always appreciate you all coming along each week. It's good fun. better than talking to ourselves, isn't it, Biggles?
Yeah, just think about one day if it gets popular and enough, Jared can quit his day job and do this full time. Imagine what he'd be capable of then.
And you could say you were here at the start. You were one of the early subscribers. Not often you get a chance to do that on YouTube these days.
You got to start somewhere.
Just saying. Just saying. So this battle pack for P2 starting to spread out a little further. But Cam White and Jeremy Washington really heading it up at the moment. The gap back to Harris, then back to Power, just starting to extend a bit. So let's keep an eye on White and Washington.
Yeah, Washington's quick. Cameron White
he's
is pretty aware of it. But don't mirror drive Cameron White. This is what I've always told drivers, what I've engineered them in the past, because spotting, I'm like, drive your own racing line and then let Jeremy drive around you. You do your thing. Don't look at, I always say, just rip the mirrors off. Just turn the mirrors off the racing
Ignore
car.
them completely. It's
and
fine.
Don't mirror
what
drive.
Can possibly go wrong?
Well, you also, because, as long as you're driving and sticking to your racing line, you're going to force the other driver to go off the racing line to overtake you. Be aware that they're around you, but don't drive looking at them. Drive looking forward on your racing line. That's the crucial thing. And in fact, at the moment, he's going to be seeing Jackson up the road, so he needs to be focusing on that. And then, of course, if you do have your spotter telling you car right, clear, then it's what it is. But when you mirror drive as a driver, that's when you make mistakes, because you're more worried about the car behind you.
The best thing these drivers can do right now is, if they're driving defensively, just pick a defensive line. They know where they're going to be quickest, so they know where the other car's going to be quickest. Pick a defensive line that leaves you just enough room into that corner to still carry some pace, but makes it really tricky to pass. And that's about all you can hope for. There's no point trying to second guess the driver behind you and pick which way they're going each corner. You just drive the line that you know gives you the best chance of defending.
Exactly, yeah.
And that's
it's
enough.
like a qualifying lap or something like that even as well too, but you've got to spot your own braking points and find your own line. Yeah, once again, you can't be looking at that. As soon as you look at the drive behind you, you've just lost yourself a millisecond or two and concentration.
And focus on the braking markers. It's all about what's in front of you. And you know what? If he comes past, great. You get the draft down the straight. You've got to enjoy what you can.
Yeah, it's always a little painful, of course, to have a driver get past you when you're doing such a fantastic job. But it's early days, and looks like this race as well too. You can see the speed of Jeremy's game. But see, at the moment,
Jeremy Washington looking up the inside. Is he going to make the move?
No, he sent the dummy. Cameron White's got to be aware of that. Cameron White could get a nice slipstream here from Jared. And once again, Jackson Starrett, that's up the road here, about to be lapped. He is no slouch for space. He's been holding on ahead of these guys for at least half a dozen laps now. So hopefully,
in the background there, Danny P
Cameron needs
up.
Well, what? Oh, that's a late set.
Side.
Oh, it's caught. Cameron didn't even know he was there when he turned in. He had to just back off. He's going to lose it to Josh Harris as well now too.
Oh, Cam White will be filthy with that, I reckon.
I'm surprised that his spotter didn't let him know that was a bit of a late send there from Jeremy Washington. But hey, it is hard to overtake around here. I do understand that.
Let's go back and see if I can see that again.
Yeah, you have a look at this. We've got to remember too that
Big send.
Cameron is keeping his eye forward on the driver up the road, which is Jackson. Didn't see Jeremy coming through there. And then
I wonder if there was a bit of netcode in that. The way that car bounced away.
Go on board if you go. I was going to say go on board and have a look through his through his cockpit to see if you see the mirrors, because I don't know if you'd see even Jeremy.
Yeah, that was rough. That was rough. But Cam White finds himself back in P3, so he's real Josh Harrison again, no problems at all. Jeremy Washington, though, now almost 2 seconds up the road, still behind Starrett. Still hasn't managed to get past Jackson Starrett.
Oh, that's what I said. Jackson's good. This is a span of the mix, because Jackson would be running with these drivers up here in the top 5 if he didn't have that
those
mistake.
Earlier incidents, yeah. 100%.
Yeah, so
100%.
it's when you have a driver at the same equal pace as the other field here, it's he has the blue flag. And once again, he doesn't have the blue flag until they get to the back of him, and no real drivers got to the back until about now. So just now they got to the back of him, Jeremy Washington.
And worth calling out.
And he will probably just lift
Mitch
on the straight
Curry
when he passes. Yeah, there he goes. Lifts it past there.
Only just,
oh, no,
he had a moment, but this is the thing. He's not required to lift. He just can't impede.
No, exactly, and he's not
So,
right there. He's saying,
there
you
you
quickly go around me on the straight. Yeah.
Let's let him around.
Yep.
Or rather, Washington's going around Starrett. Starrett will drop in behind and just take advantage of the slipstream he's been gifting
And you
Washington for a
watch
while.
Starrett now keep up with him.
Oh, yeah, he'll hold
Starrett's
going to
use him as a nice little toe around this and keep the same lap times.
So let's just let Washington get on with catching up with 3 seconds to Mitch Curry. And let's keep an eye on this pack here. So this is the battle for P3 that's been going on just behind. Cameron White out in front. Josh Harris now has Danny P and Reese Wakefield right in behind him.
Now, what's Mitch Curry going to do to respond to this one, too, as you keep an eye on? I'm just going to do some mathematics here in the background. Or math.
Bit of quick maths. Let's see what we've got.
Mitch Curry's gap that he had almost 6 seconds now sliced down to 3.1. Jeremy Washington is now coming thick and fast. But we do know that Mitch Curry did go to pit road back on lap 5. That's a long time ago. Jeremy Washington did it on lap 11. We're now on lap 27. We're now down to about 25 minutes left in the endurance race. Can they go to the end? I don't think Mitch Curry can go to the end, but more importantly, if Mitch Curry's going to do a strategy soon, we might have to think about it. If he's losing too much time with Jeremy, get in there to pit road, but also the spotter, when are you going to come back out and clean air?
Ready to go. Just something I was just asking before about Jackson. He's actually down in P21 right now. He's back off just one lap back from the lead lap. Unfortunately caught up in one of those early incidents. And yeah, look, it's been rough for a couple of drivers tonight, hasn't it? Yeah, this McLaren train is absolutely going on.
It is. McLaren train, you're right.
Harris, Poulton and Wakefield just pushing hard. And
Papaya orders.
Cameron White.
The Australian has to let the Brit through. That's right, because the Australians are too fast. We all know that, don't we? All the Aussies are here, so thankfully I'm on an Aussie. Like, if I wouldn't say that, of course, when I'm broadcasting earlier this morning to a whole British crowd for a British race, they'd be like, I'm like, yeah.
Let's leave these McLaren Australians for just a second and take a look back. This is the battle for P10 now. So we've got Aaron Schotter out in front, and he's holding off Jake Robillard and Fadli Rahmat, who had that issue earlier on. A couple of Ferraris in the mix tonight. It's always good to see. You don't often see the Ferraris featured.
Dan the man going to get the O-take, on Josh. I think it's...
Oh, he's big defensive line there. Big defensive line from Aaron Schotter. And Rahmat goes very wide off into the dirt. So he'll be dropping back from this. Side by side, McLaren and Ferrari. Robillard, we know, has got pace, but so does Schotter. These guys using every bit of track. That's allowed Rahmat to just catch back up after running wide out of turn one.
The old Alpine livery as well, too. You'd be pretty proud of that one this weekend.
Yeah, it's looking all right, isn't it?
It was the old Alpine livery, wasn't it?
BWT, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Alpine used to run the pink and blue BWT. And he's gone around. Contact. Rahmat avoids that masterfully.
I don't know if you want to be doing overtaking through the essence.
No.
So now, there's beef. There's beef. There's a little bit of beef there, probably.
No, nothing to it. They were just both trying to spin around, and that's what's ended up happening. And so now Robillard's got Dan Mirko and Liam Jensen coming up fast. There goes Mirko past Robillard, and here comes Liam Jensen. One of our top contenders in the championship finds himself a long way back right now in P4.
Yeah, he's moved up the racing line. He realises he doesn't have the pace of the cold tyres right now, dirty tyres too.
Yeah, a bit of contact there. Cram claiming Piastri is the better driver. I mean, I'm not going to argue, honestly.
Yes!
Not going to argue. Let's go back
His
up
parents
front.
aren't as rich as Lando Norris is, unfortunately, but yeah, it is where it is. Lando Norris has the long contract and was the one that first goes. And anyway, we'll see next season. It's going to be even Stevens, so there'll be no team orders at the start of the season. So it'll be time for Oscar to shine. Remember, Oscar's got less time in the car too than what Norris has had, so it'll be all interesting. But that'll be what if next season. I say Oscar shouldn't have yielded anyway and done that, but he wants to play the team game. But I think Mark Webber even kind of hints on the fact that he wasn't happy with him. He's the manager of Oscar. Happy of following the prior orders, because Mark Webber tried that one, didn't he, with Sebastian Vettel, and it didn't quite work out for his video.
No, not the best here. But anyhow, Danny P leading out the McLaren train still here in P4, but Wakefield right on his bumper. Josh Harris managing to stay in touch just a second off the pace. And in the background, Dean Pow and Scott Stevens looking to catch up and maybe even feature in this as well. As Harris drops just a little bit further back. It's all about appeasing the bosses at the end of the day, isn't it, Graham? Got to keep them happy. They pay your checks after all. So,
oh, really? Well, yeah. Sergio Perez has it, and they're going to lose the championship with Red Bull. I can talk about Formula 1 today. This is not. Let's talk about the MC Motorsport, of course, series here for the GT3s. The first of the endurance races that we're having here at Sebring, and currently is leading. Jeremy Washington is slowly chipping away. It's about almost close to 2 seconds.
He's only pulled back He's only pulled back a second in the last few laps.
Yeah, Mitch responded actually. It has started to respond. Fastest man on track is Jeremy Washington in the last lap, but it's not. It's only chipping 2 tenths per lap.
Yeah, just away a few tenths here, a few tenths there. You got to wonder about Mitch Curry's fuel situation. He's only made the one stop, and that was a long time ago. So I wonder if he's going to get caught out here, or if he's just hanging on, hoping for a safety car that everyone else doesn't want to see at this point, because we're watching some fantastic racing going on.
You've got 3 battles at the moment that could cause safety cars. You've got a battle for P13, you've got a battle for P7, and you've got a battle for P4.
Have a look at this. Jake Robillard making the move back on Dan Mirko. So he's just made the pass there. That Ferrari is not so beat up after all. Maybe it's just that it's a Mustang. I don't know.
Oh.
Look, the Mustangs were not
Could
the
be
favourite.
a Ford, mate. It could be breaking down a lot of time. There's 2 of them currently at the moment. As Scott Stevens gets past Dean.
So these guys just swapping it up here. But all of this just costing them time. They're now, almost 3 seconds off the back of Josh Harris, who in turn is a second and a half back from this battle. Danny P.
Daniel on camera. Yeah. Dan the man.
They're going at it again.
Doing Dan things.
Dan Mirko's just crashed in the background. So he was trying to keep up with Jake Robillard. And what's happened is he just overcooked it through this corner. Yep, just not enough grip on the concrete here at Sebring.
Concrete or the asphalt? That's the concrete part.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an old... What is it with these old World War II airfields being great racetracks? Silverstone? Here at Sebring. I mean,
you know what? I don't think it's necessarily they're particularly good racetracks. I think it's just that they happen to have a bit of land that's good for a racetrack.
I think also the racing enthusiasts have used them to the best of their abilities and said, look, let's make really good racetracks around of this, and they're going to have. They're flat, of course. You don't see a major elevation change, and you see a lot of tracks, but they are fast. Remember that Silverstone was called the Mutton GP because a couple of guys got together and said, well, let's use this old airfield as a racetrack. They did, and somebody ran over a mutton. And decided it's called the Mutton GP. They should change it, of course, to the British GP. Early trivia for that one. I don't know the trivia that well, this track, mate. Unfortunately, apart from the fact that they just turned an old World War II airstrip into a racetrack.
Seems to be the way.
If anybody knows any trivia about Sebring, please give us a not trivia you can look up, trivia that you know some inside.
Yeah, give us something different, something I'm not going to find on Google in 2 minutes.
Exactly.
Come on,
exactly.
Go
this one that I was asking earlier today. If anybody can answer me this one, Jack, because somebody was talking about Jack Villeneuve, and I remember seeing years ago he had a maybe in a book or something. He had a Formula 1 car put in the bottom of his pool. Now, I can't find a picture of that anywhere online, and I've Googled it. Maybe my memory's playing tricks on me, but I do remember seeing something like that, a Formula 1 car put in the bottom of the pool in your home. So let me know if that's true or not.
I have so many questions about that. Like, first of all, why? Why would you do it?
I mean, it's probably just a shell of the Formula, not an engine and all that, because he's he was a world champion.
Liam Jensen making the move on Aaron Schotter. Can he get it done? Oh, not quite. But that's if it hadn't been for that nudge,
bumper truck,
Schotter was not going to have the pace he needed there. Liam Jensen has all of the pace, and here he goes round the outside, better tyres, and that's going to be enough to take him past. Looks like a bit of damage on the front end there of Schotter's McLaren. But he does keep the inside line here.
Oh, yeah, don't go too wide through here, gentlemen. But you know what? Don't worry what I say. Just do what you want to do.
Just do it anyway, and Jensen makes the move stick.
Liam's in the championship, remember. He's the one leading the championship. He can't afford. He's running just shy of the point.
He can't sit back. Absolutely not.
No, he can't sit back. But at the same time, he can't afford to get a big chunk of points lost here.
Hey, I just want to call out. Let's talk about big chunks. Jeremy Washington somehow there. I think Mitch Curry's had a bit of a moment because he's just lost a full second and then some. Washington now about to nip at his heels within a second off the back of Mitch Curry with 15 minutes, just shy of 16 minutes to go. Have a look in the background though. You've got Cameron White now getting closed up on by Danny P and Reece Wakefield.
Yeah, flashing some
it's
lights
still
in the
all happening here.
That could be a 10-second penalty if you flash them too much, mate.
Got to keep an eye on it. Here comes Danny P. Cameron White has had a really nice run for a while. He's just been held up, I think, a little by Starrett, and that's allowed these guys to close up. So it was a two-way battle for P4. It's now a three-way for P3. And that's here goes Danny P. He's on the inside. Can he get the drive out of the corner? He does. Is he going to make it stick, though? Finds himself on the outside.
And Reece Wakefield's just sitting back patiently watching this going, I got nowhere to go here, gentlemen. You got to go 2 by 2 here. Wow. You're banging. Love it.
Let's see who gets the line out of the corner. Back in formation.
Bottles, come on. Chirp around here.
Danny P just couldn't quite make it stick. He's going to sit back and have another run at it here. He knows he's got the pace. Washington now within half a second of Mitch Curry up front. So
yeah,
keep
these
an eye on that
big
one.
battles
we'll
here in the top 5, as you mentioned.
Danny P wants his way through. He's pushing through. He's got the inside line. There he goes. He takes P3. Can he make a stick? Look at Wakefield, though, coming out of that corner. Big drive. Is he going to give a bit of a bump draft here to Danny P? Not quite enough.
Choose your ally at this point. Well, it's unfortunately it's not oval, so it doesn't really give that much of a benefit of who to choose here. These are battling side by side. Contact. This is fantastic racing, and I'll tell you what, if I was in Reece Wakefield's racing boots right now, I wouldn't know what to do. I'd sit back and just enjoy this as a party. Anybody would go right on board with him, mate. This is what he's seeing, a bird's eye perspective of Dan Mann and Cameron White going for a 2 for now down turn 1. Sorry, it's Sunset. Final turns.
Round they go. The bumps on the inside of that corner just throwing that Porsche around. Very, very lucky to keep any sort of grip through there. And the view from Wakefield's car, absolutely spectacular as well.
Scary.
More Danny
than anything from me. But, I said he nose in. Oh! You saw that? Cameron White goes around.
Cam White off. Bit of contact in the background. That's one of the ADH entries as well. Josh Harris getting caught up there with nowhere to go.
How's that for Entertainment 101? Picture in picture. You saw it external and internal at the same time. Wow. Very lucky. You actually want to go back Jeremy Washington and Mitch Curry. I'm going to put my my blinkers. I'm going to ride shotgun with. Actually, I'm going to ride in the racing helmet of Jeremy Washington, my friend. You can see it right there now. After the road, Mitch Curry. So
4 tenths now to Mitch Curry. 13 minutes to go. He's closing
13 minutes,
very quickly.
Pit stops have got to be lurking on these drivers' minds.
I mean, Washington and Curry both only the one stop. I don't know. Is it going to affect either of them? Is Curry really just riding this out as long as he possibly can to enjoy P1 for as long as he can before having to give it up? Or does he have the fuel to go the whole way?
6-lap difference between them. I don't think it would be that much.
I mean, if they fuel right on the limits, though.
Yeah, let us know out there in the chat if you know any of the drivers, or I mean, we do have drivers in the chat earlier as well too. So we had Mitch who was chatting to us. They're not this deep into the race to know, but I mean, maybe they're chatting, races some of the other drivers, or you're friends with some of the drivers, and you can kind of get an indication. But don't give us too much information, because maybe other drivers are listening, or their engineers are listening and writing down notes, going, "Oh, look what we just heard in the radio."
It's Control confirming post-race investigation is going to happen into that contact between Schotter and Robillard that we saw earlier as well.
I would imagine there would be an investigation.
Look
how close now. Jeremy on Mitch Curry. Got a good exit out of Sunset. Down the start, another lap, which is lap 34 on this one. Gives us about 11 to 12. Actually, shy 12 seconds left in this race. 12 minutes, sorry, not 12 seconds. Whoa, the inside. We've seen this before.
Very, very wide.
Has he got him?
I think those tyres started to give up on the Porsche. Jeremy Washington goes through and takes the lead for the first time in God knows how many laps. I reckon the last time he was in the lead had to be about 25, 30 laps ago.
And now Reece on Dan, which is also very interesting between those two. They've been inseparable a few times this season, I'll tell you what. Reese does not want to let Dan the man get too far up the road. And that's McLaren versus McLaren as well, too, for battle for P3 currently at the moment. So we just saw P1 and P2 switcheroo. Now P3 and P4 can switcheroo.
Now this is where Danny P's got to watch. He's about to get held up by Starrett here. He's got a couple options, right? If he times it right, he may just force Wakefield into a really poor spot. Are they just catching
Starrett now?
Starrett
has been driving.
Starrett's putting in some cracking laps.
Starrett's been amazing.
His last one at 203. His best lap at 202. Now, for comparison, Jeremy Washington putting in the hard yards to catch up with Mitch Curry. Both Curry and Washington 202s, 1 and 3.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I would have loved to see Jackson actually, like, without that earlier incident battle. He would have been right here with him. He would have been having a blast. But I'll tell you
Mitch
what, he
Curry
must be still having a blast.
Almost a second back. Washington's got the tyres.
Sunset Boulevard's going to be coming to play too. As you can see, the sun is setting. And that is where it starts to annoy you in VR.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, even on main screens, it's standard flat screens is still just as bad.
Oh, is he flashing?
Yeah, Danny P's going to have to be careful there. That's a lot of light flashing going on.
Yeah, I mean...
And he is not catching Starrett.
Mitch Curry's in! Mitch Curry's in!
Into the pits. He's into the pits. He couldn't do it. So that answers the question.
But can anybody else do it? I mean, you've got to think. 5 laps, mate. That's 9 minutes. Ooh.
So all of a sudden, Danny P up into P2. Reese Wakefield into P.
But he's still back there behind Reese. But he's still back there behind Reese. Him and Reese. Oh, did they come together with? I think it's come together with Jackson. I don't know if we're live. I'm back on that one, but
I think we're back up and running. Sorry, folks. OBS is
it does OBS things. Yeah. So just to give you a little bit of an update too, Daniel had a little bit of a contact there with Reese, who was battling it out. Are they getting a little frustrated with Jackson right now? I think they come very close to Jackson Starrett, who is a lap car, right? But they're battling each other, and I think they both feel, because now you've got Reese flashing Jackson.
They both feel like Starrett should be getting out of the way, but he's quick enough to continue.
Yeah, and this is going to be a debate that's going to go a lot on after this race. That these two drivers, Daniel and Reese, are going to say, well, why are you holding us up? Because you're not racing in for P2 at the moment. And in fact, both these drivers are probably thinking, we want to catch Jeremy up the road. But Jeremy's 8 seconds now. And they're not going to come back and play later. They're going to come back and go, you've cost us a race win because you've held us up.
These guys are carrying Washington, though.
Like, well, but they can say it, can't they? They can at least say the reasons why, blah, blah, blah.
That's true. No, that's true. Look, Starrett is... he's quick, but you've got to at some point.
Yeah, sorry. Get past Jackson, guys. If you're quicker, get past.
Yeah, and look, this is the thing. iRacing doesn't require you to move over a corporate flag. You're not required to slow down.
See? Yeah, they're in frustration right now. Absolutely, I can tell you that.
Thing to do. Let's go back and just catch Wakefield coming past Danny P. Because we did miss this with all of the...
this is when... They've got together because they're struggling to get past it, and there's a mistake made, and then they both almost made contact here. This is it. This is where they're getting frustrated. So, there's pros and cons in that one, because I also think, yes, Jackson, if you've got two drivers now annoyed at you, it's just a mathematics game. You might want to lift off.
You're in P19.
There it is.
Yeah, finally moves over.
That'll be a debate long gone after this one. Exactly. It's
really had no impact overall on the race. It's had no impact on the standings, but I suspect
it's helped Jeremy. Perhaps it could be like Jeremy and Jackson are good buddies, and it's like, thanks. Jeremy would be like thanking him later on. I'm going to hold them up for me, mate. You got a 9-second cap now. Cheers, thank you.
Yeah, look, maybe, but these guys were never. I don't think they were ever going to catch Jeremy Washington. Really, he made the move so long ago to get past Starrett and then to catch up to Curry. But the thing to watch here is Jeremy Washington. He's still putting in blinding laps. His last at 2:02.1, only a half second off his best pace. So he's not slowing down. 5 minutes to go. Probably got another.
He's not fuel saving, is he?
No, he's really not. So he must feel confident that he's got enough fuel on board to finish this race out.
Unless he's doing that strategy of toying the other drivers to go, and the other drivers are going, well, he's doing fast laps. He's got plenty of fuel left. And then, of course, Jeremy coasts across the line later on going, I'm going to do, 2 seconds lap slower in the last couple of laps because I don't have the gas to go to the end. But everybody else would probably going flat out thinking, if he can do it, we can do it. There's a lot of strategy plays like games like that happen with drivers because they go, well, we boxed in the same lap he did.
Back in P11. No, he's going into the pit, sorry.
I've done that. Yeah, he's going into pit. I've done that before. I mean, we've done it before. Drivers, as engineering drivers, I've said, go. I mean, we're not going to have enough gas to go to the end, but pretend that you're doing faster laps right now. Just do faster laps. Because I'd be maintaining that 8-second, 9-second gap, knowing that you've got 9 seconds to race. So I'm like, okay, your last lap was a 2:02. Do a 2:03 this lap. Do a 2:04 next lap. Then do a 2:02 lap again. You can have my mind games.
I mean, that's what it's all about, right? You've got to have some fun with it. We're watching Ryan Palmer.
Endurance is mind
games.
games.
Was right up behind him before. So these guys battling it out for P13. A long way down the pack. Let's take a look forward, though. Mitch Curry, after that pit stop here in P7, is holding off Fabi Racklin. That Ferrari is but
it's like it's like a Ferrari in the 2024 season in the late stages of the season. It's starting to come together, that Ferrari. And that's Mitch Curry, who had to pit. And unfortunately for Mitch, who's lost that P1 position, he's back down to P7. He's got to hold that P7 because, as you said, Rackmont is using his windscreen wiper as well, too, to scrub off all that. Only problem is, mate, using the windscreen wipers up the inside!
That's a hell of
He's
a
got
line
it.
to take.
He's forced Mitch Curry wide, and Mitch Curry couldn't hold on to it. What a move! You got to give that.
I honestly
you got to give that to the
Ferrari was
Ferrari
going into that inside wall then.
Wow, that was probably one of the best overtakes of the race too. So the 862 getting the job done. Good job.
Huge pass. Mitch Curry back into P8, and look, at this point he's got a 10-second gap to Liam Jensen. So that looks reasonably. I say that reasonably comfortable. Bit of a gap opening up. Reese Wakefield and Danny P starting to separate out by about a second. I'm starting to think Danny P might be into fuel saving mode here.
Well, he can play. He can play around. He can play around a little bit. Well, you don't want to be playing around too much if you're in P3.
Let's call out though. Dean Powell in P5, up 13 spots since race start.
I'm not shocked because he's a Dean, mate.
Well, that's fair.
Dean do Dean things.
Good to see though. Some big moves from a lot of these players. Ryan Palmer and Dan Merker still going at it back in P13, P14. We'll keep your eyes on Mitch Curry for just a moment. In fact, let's actually jump ahead. Curry's he's settling in. Half a second back from Mark. He'll try and close that gap, but hopefully...
we're getting close to the last lap as well, too. Let's have a look at this. So Jeremy's coming around the final quarters now, and we have a minute 48 left in this race. It's a 2-minute lap. Yeah, white flag.
White flag's come out. There we go. Okay.
Yes.
So, last lap.
Don't tell Dan and Ryan Palmer about that one. Come to for now, about it. Back in P13.
Still at it. Let's just take a look. This is Dean Powell all on his own out here. The Loose Operations Mustang 199 car in P5. He's found himself out in the middle all alone. No one behind him, no one in front as the sun sets here at Sebring on what is to be our last lap of this 90-minute enduro for the evening. And Jeremy Washington, after all is said and done, has fought his way from first back through the field and all the way back through to first again. It's been a cracker of a drive from him. Reese Wakefield and Dan Poulton still going at it for P2.
And Jeremy Washington will take the championship lead as well too, because Liam
comfortably
Lawson is back in P9, so that'll be good for him. Dan will probably maybe even get close to stealing some points away from Liam Lawson. So a switcheroo on this one, but I'll tell you one thing, Jeremy Washington will be on the top of the season championship.
Just crashed. Rachmat's just put it sideways. Mitch Curry goes back through to P7.
On the last lap. Why?
Curry will be very happy with that. So Washington just past the halfway point of this lap.
Yeah, all by himself, nothing up the road, nothing behind him. If he causes any problems, all he has to do is just drive it. Even if he's got no gas, mate, he's got a 7-second gap. Surely he wouldn't be running completely on empty like that.
From here. Beautiful sunset. That's Sebring. bringing us around to the end of 90 minutes of racing. Washington just has a few corners to go, and this victory is his for the evening. 7.5 seconds and then some to Reece Wakefield in P2. Washington has turned this into an absolutely stellar drive as he makes his way around Sunset Bend. Jeremy Washington, 90 minutes of Sebring. The race is yours, my friend. Well done. Comes across the line and celebrates what has been a spectacular drive.
And I give it to Reece Wakefield as well too. He'll hold on and beat Dan the Man. And that was a nice battle between those two, of course. That will probably want to be talking to Jackson Starr a little bit after that one. And then Scott Stevens and Dean of Deans, the Black Hawk Motorsport driver for the 199. Good on you, Dean. You get the job done and get the 5th place there. And you got to get the Joshua Ventrek. Joshua, yeah, he was just all over the place, and then bang, came back and got on P6. Solid.
Mitch Curry coming through with the P7 that last pit stop. Tell you what, he got close. He got close. Hell of a drive all around.
Our championship leader was championship leader P9. Won't be happy. He still got himself in the top 10, and then
have a
Aaron
look at this.
shot up.
P1, P2, P3, just cruising down together.
Yeah, nice photo fishing with them as well. And it would have been good actually if Reece and Daniel would have got to catch up to Jeremy there and have a nice little three-way fight towards the end there. But unfortunately, it wasn't to be. Jeremy was just too quick. No. Just too quick.
All the Corvette this evening. Race results: first place to Jeremy Washington, second place Reece Wakefield, third place Danny P. Corvette.
I like that little podium thing he got there with the Jeremy's car a little higher, of course, and Reece is in the second spot.
It needs a little bit of work.
I like this. I've never seen this before, ever. Let us know out there what you think about this little podium. I think you're wearing on a little podium box underneath him too.
Yeah, look, we'll get it tidied up a little bit.
It's a Ferrari bubbly.
Yeah, not bad, not bad. P4 to Scott Stevens, Dean Pow in 5th, Joshua Van Treek in 6th, and Mitch Curry from MC Motorsport taking out 7th. 8th, Ruckmart manages to get back on track. Then Liam Jensen in 9th, Aaron Schotter in 10th with Nathan Bowman 1 minute back in P11, the car 53 entry. So we scroll on through. Gordon Smith taking out 12th ahead of Ryan Palmer from ADHD. Dan Merco, a respectable 14th. Cruz McVie recovers from a couple of incidents to close out 15th. Liam Newen didn't have the pace tonight, but still manages to pull in 16th ahead of Milan Payrich. Cam White, that drive-through costing him late in the race to bring him back to P18, which is unfortunate. And then Jackson Starrett, P19, a lap down. 20th to Jake Robillard, 21st to Brian East, 3 laps back, and then Josh Harris and Chris Philippou rounding out those contenders still in it. Unfortunately for Mitchell Wiley and Ryan Orford, 30 laps down, really only about 10 laps in, they were forced to retire from the race this evening. So what do you do at the end of the day? It's it's about all you can do.
I still thought they could have come. It should have come out there, but we don't know how bad the car was and all that sort of stuff with the damage and so forth and so forth. But we do know that Jeremy Washington was absolutely ecstatic to get this one done, and he did. And obviously everybody was very excited. We eventually got that racing done, didn't we? We had a lot of cautions at the start, have a little confumbling and everything that was going on. But once the race was done, it sorted itself out into the sunset here in Sebring. Truly, Jeremy Washington proved that his Corvette, the 500 machine, was the one to beat, and it certainly was the one that was on the top step of the podium.
What a fantastic result all around, and we'll speak to each of these guys now in turn. Let's just see if we can find, to start off with, Danny P. Danny, have we got you joining us in the combox here?
Hello, you got Daniel here.
Yeah, we do. We've had a lot of call outs for Danny P in the chat all night, mate. Hell of a drive. Unfortunate to not hold on to P2 there, but look, stellar one all round.
Yeah, thank you. I struggled this week. This is probably the track I hate the most in the calendar. At the back of the thing, that bouncing around. Can't start usually.
It's all you can do though. And look, been a lot of fun watching you battle it out for basically as long as I can remember in that one with Reece Wakefield. So certainly making him earn that spot. But some good points for you tonight, and going to help you out in the championship. What's coming up that you're looking forward to then? If this is your least favourite, what's on the horizon?
Look, I'll probably say what everybody else says, but Bathurst will be a good one.
It's always
Hey!
It's always it's the track.
There's
we'll
Aussie
drive.
right there for you.
But I think the Nordschleife will be the most interesting one. Who can keep it out of the
How many
fence.
corners are there, Dan?
I don't know, on an 80? No, I don't know.
You're not far off. It's 70, 79, I think.
Oh,
From
goodness, I
memory?
can remember 6 at a time. So.
I thought it was 120 something. Anyway, go ahead.
No, look, it's going to be a bit of fun. Danny P, your fans in the chat will love that. Well done, P3. Enjoy it, mate. Go celebrate.
Shout out
I was going to say, what happened at the start, mate? You dropped a couple of places before those cautions started kicking in. Were you being cautious yourself, or you had a bad start?
The first restart, I was just cautious because I was like, what the heck happened? And then the second one, we were told not to overlap before the control line. Everyone just went ballistic instead of went green. So I'm a bit puzzled with that one. So that was about it, really.
Oh, well, that's the way it
Thank
sort
you.
of all plays out, I suppose, mate. Thank you for your time. We'll let you get back to it and hopefully be chatting to you again next week.
All good. Cheers, guys. Have a good one.
That's Daniel Poulton, P3 this evening, as we look to P2, just holding out the other McLaren all the way. Reese Wakefield, how are you tonight, my friend?
I am good, thank you. How are you?
Mate, I'm sweating for you after that battle over the last 15 or 20 minutes.
I tell you what, it was. You didn't make it easy.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. He pushed you the whole way. Just getting held up a little bit there, perhaps by Starrett, was what got you past in the end. What was the biggest challenge?
That's my question.
I noticed was there a bit of frustration creeping in there with that Porsche that was just holding both of you up for a while.
It wasn't more so the Porsche. It was more so the Mustang, the car beforehand. He was very defensive on both Daniel and myself, and did not make it easy to pass at all. But once we got past him, Starrett wasn't too bad to pass. Once he could tell we were quicker, and once he saw us coming, he kind of just let us go. But it was definitely the Mustang that lost us a fair amount of time to Jeremy there.
We didn't catch that, did we?
No.
So that's interesting. No. But that was good to know, and it's good to clarify that because we were kind of wondering because Jackson was quick.
A little bit of an apology then, don't we?
Yeah, we do. Jackson, we apologise on that one. But go ahead, my friend. The floor is yours.
Yeah, you want to call out there the supporters at Antic? We're all in chat tonight for you.
Yeah, exactly. To be honest, it wouldn't probably be possible without Antic, me being in this league. So huge shout out to my team, Antic Motorsports. Big supporters. I mean, as you've seen, there's a whole bunch of us black, chrome, and orange drivers in this series. So it's good to have a team back you, especially when they push you. And I mean, Daniel Poulton as well. I mean, he's very fast on track. So it's good having him either push me, whether he's behind me, in front of me. It always makes me want to go 110%.
Yeah. He's behind you, Dad. He's behind you, Reese.
Yeah, pretty much. I know.
It's a secret. Don't tell him.
Okay, just between us then. I mean, and everyone watching, just don't tell Daniel.
It's good, isn't it?
Fantastic
It's good, isn't it,
drive.
to beat him? I mean, and it's capable to beat him. And Reese, it's going to bring you up a little bit on the scoreboard. You're 7th in the championship going into this one.
100%.
Next up, you did a race win, mate. That's next on your list. When's that going to happen?
Oh, look, hopefully next round. That'll be alright, wouldn't it? But look, I needed to bounce back after Catalunya. After that spin, I was very hard on myself, so I came in pretty prepped to Sebring. I'd done multiple laps, I'd done different strategies, everything, so I felt pretty comfortable coming into this round. I feel like P2 was definitely a lot better than what I expected. I expected maybe top 5, but definitely not P2, so I'm pretty proud of myself there. Big bounce back from last round.
Well, mate, enjoy that and go celebrate with the team. Reese Wakefield, P2 tonight in the 90 minutes of Sebring. Mate, well done. Enjoy, and we'll hopefully be chatting to you again next week, eh?
Hopefully, that's the plan.
Fingers crossed. Cheers, Reese. Appreciate your time. We'll
you.
let him get back to it as we bring our winner tonight into the combox, Jeremy Washington. Mate, you were cruising along there for a while, and then just started to walk away out in front. What was going through your mind?
lot of swear words after the second safety car. That first stint with Reese, we made a good break on the field. I think we were 7 or 8 seconds ahead. It felt pretty comfortable. He was very quick, but and then the safety car dumped us right back to 13th and 14th, I think. So it was a bit intense there for a while, but I'm glad to make my way through.
Yeah.
How did you make your way through, Jeremy? Go ahead, Jeremy.
No, it's a good question.
I think there was a lot of hard racing between the other guys that caused a few mistakes, and I could just sort of pick my way through pretty easily. It's not an easy track to pass, but if they're all fighting each other, you can sort of line things up pretty well. And just gaps opened up for me, which was good. And then a couple of decent passes, I think, around Josh. Around the outside was pretty good. He gave me a lot of room though, so he's pretty kind. But other than that, obviously people had either short fueled or couldn't quite make it to the end as well. So like Mitch Curry had to peel off. So that
we were feeling for him. We were feeling for him.
Yeah, you answered that question for us because I'm pretty sure we had that one lined up. But
I could see.
We're wondering if you had enough gas to go to the end, Jeremy.
Yeah, I was pretty comfortable. Like, I think I was about 1 or 2 laps from my pit window when the second safety car came out, so you can save a lot of fuel then. So that wasn't too bad. But I could sort of see when I was 5th or 6th that Mitch was doing like 203s, and I know he can do like, a lot quicker than that. So I figured he was fuel saving and in a bit of trouble. So once I got to second, I wanted to get close to him just to make sure he couldn't fuel save. And,
Jeremy, when I engineer drivers, I actually tell them to do that deliberately, just to throw the other drivers off. So you're lucky they didn't do that, mate. So I told them to do that. But yeah.
Yeah, no, it was, I don't know how big the fuel tank is on the Porsche, but I don't think it's that big.
No, it's a Porsche. It can't be that big. There's nowhere to put the thing. Well, mate, you held in there, timed it to perfection with the pit stops, and it's come away with a tidy little win in the 90 minutes of Sebring tonight. A few points up your sleeve in the championship. We've been asking everyone. Well, yeah, that's it. Out in front after that one. We've got a couple more races yet to go. We've got another 5 or 6 in the season. So my question to you, like to everyone, what's on the list? Please don't say Bathurst. Say something other than Bathurst. Everyone's saying they're looking forward to Bathurst. Is that what you're in for as well?
I'm looking forward to Spa next week, actually.
Yes!
That's what I like to hear. Yes.
All right, so 3 wide into Rouge, please.
Yeah, absolutely. And try and go through goes Hamilton or through goes Vettel or whatever. But no, it'll be. I think it's a good track to race on, and you get some passing going on. Bathurst is just a bit too.
Where do you overtake? Lacombe, bus stop.
I think so. Lacombe is the place. Yeah, I think that'll be where we can hopefully have some fun.
And do you think the Corvette's going to have the overall straight line speed? Because it being Spa, it's a straight line speed track.
Yeah, it's felt okay so far. Maybe not with the McLaren. The McLaren's pretty beastly, but when I'm up against like the Porsche, it doesn't feel too bad. Once you get some suck.
Well, got it all to look forward to next week then. Bring on Spa, November 11th for round number 4. Jeremy Washington, well done tonight, mate, at P1 for your efforts. And more points in the bag towards the championship. We'll let you go and recover and have a drink and just celebrate a bit, hey?
Yep, thanks guys, and appreciate the coverage as ever. It's you're doing a great job.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Jeremy Washington. P1 tonight at Sebring. And Biggles, that's the end of the evening for us.
It'll be a wrap, is it? It'll be the second driver now. He's going to join Liam as 2 race wins each. So that's looking good. In fact, it'll be. Jeremy will have that little bit of advantage. He's going to have top 5 victories there, where unfortunately Liam didn't finish in the top 5. So there's going to switch around on that one, but of course Liam's going to bounce back, no doubt. And when it comes to Spa and the other tracks, as you'd mentioned. But love the graphics, my friend. Simple Racing Network is not so simple. Well, it's simple to do. I mean, it simply looks amazing on the screen, but I'm sure it's pretty advanced in the background.
I appreciate it. Look, we've got a few tweaks to make, but that'll all come around next week. For everyone watching at home, really appreciate you hanging out with us, and it's been a pleasure, as always, to bring you all of the action. It's that's a hell of a race. 90 minutes of Sebring. Tell you what, but we are going to be back into it again next week, as Jeremy hinted at. We've got Spa next Monday night, so really one of the more interesting tracks on the calendar, particularly for the GT3s. I'm here for it, Biggles. I don't know about you, but I am keen. So looking forward to bringing that
it's
one
Spa,
next
mate.
week.
Lock me in. Done.
Absolutely. There we go.
I'm on the
So
next flight.
we will call it a night here from Sebring as the sun sets on this fantastic track. From all of us here at Simple Racing Broadcast, just want to say thank you again for joining us today. Make sure you do stay connected for more racing action with MC Motorsport. And next week, make sure you do subscribe down below and hit the bell on those upcoming broadcasts in the list. And of course, until next time, drive safe, and we will see you at the next race. Goodbye for now.